All right, Gene. How was the weekend?
It was good. It was a good weekend. So
It's chilly outside now. I don't understand it. It just literally flip of a switch, and all of a sudden they were like, "Hey, fall is knocking on your door right now."
yeah, I love the weather. I mean, our Florida kids and our kids from Georgia and Texas, they're not liking this weather right now.
They're not happy with it. Well, I was talking with my mother the other day, and she was like, "Don't worry, Hunter. Like, it's 2020, first of all, the crazy year, and it's North Carolina, who is bipolar in their weather anyways. It could be 100 degrees next week,
Correct.
and it would not surprise me." And I was like, you know what? You make a very good point. Just like I'm surprised today. It's like 50, 60 degrees. I don't understand.
Well, Gene, how long you been in North Carolina?
Got it here September last year.
Okay. So you're not that familiar with the weather. So
Not yet.
we're going to give you some weather tips for North Carolina. In the fall and the spring, we experience everyone. So you could wake up this morning and have your pants and hoodie on, and by the afternoon you're in a t-shirt and shorts, and then back at it in the evening. So you kind of almost need, in North Carolina, 2 sets of clothes a day.
That, or you do one of the things that I know like a lot of high school and younger kids do is like you got the shorts on, but the hoodie on. So that way you can just take the hoodie off when it gets hot.
That's what I'm rocking.
There you go.
Baby.
Well, that's
ready.
the official outfit for Boone, North Carolina. Okay,
That's just that's I always wear
as
that.
long
Or
as
long
it-
sleeve and shorts.
and as long as there's not snow on the ground in Boone, you're in flip flops too. So your flip flop shorts and a hoodie. Now, if there's snow on the ground, you don't get your feet wet and get you cold and everything. But there will be a couple. I promise you, there will be a couple in Boone like that. But as far as
they
down here in
just
North
like
Carolina,
to watch the world burn.
Yeah, I mean, today was the last day of summer today, or was it the 25th? It's the 21st or 20th. It's one of those. She's really close to the last day of summer.
It is
whatever
close.
is.
Like I saw somebody was like, "Here's the last day of summer." Like, is it really?
So for the guys in Florida, they pretty much have the same temperatures year round. I guess it doesn't have the humidity that we have. And then it rains every day. What, twice a
Summer
day in Florida?
2020
Yeah.
in the northern hemisphere began June 20th, and it will end Tuesday, September 22nd. So
Funny.
I
tomorrow,
was close. I was right around.
very close.
I knew it was the end of September, in the 20s in September. Isn't that weird? Like in school, we're taught the summer is June, July, August, but it's actually.
But I have a question
July,
for
August,
you.
September.
I have a question for you.
What's that?
Do you remember the 21st night of September?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
Do you really?
Hey, yeah.
Or you
I really
today?
wanted to do that.
Oh
I
my
really wanted to do
God.
that because it was today.
Hunter,
I did.
no one will ever
I
mistake
got
you
on
for an
Twitter.
Earth, Wind, and Fire
Oh,
expert.
come on now. I got on Twitter today and somebody posted that, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what?
Gonna use it.
You're right. I'm going to use that today. Just like, and you can mark it, when September is over and we have this show, I'm going to say, no, someone needs to wake up Billy Joel from, or no, what's his name? Billy Joe, whatever his last name is from Green Day.
Armstrong, isn't it?
Billy Joe Armstrong, yeah. Someone needs to wake him up because September's over. So you can count on that one when it hits October.
Ladies and gentlemen, please send your complaints to P.O. Box 415, Cherryville, North Carolina.
There will be no complaints. None.
Golly.
None.
All right,
That's culture.
are you done with the dad jokes?
Yeah, whatever. Fine.
All right, Gene. Back to important.
Back to
stuff.
business.
Back to important stuff. So we were going over, talking about baseball coming up this spring and the weather. You're gonna have. It's not even cold right now, but it's just a shock when it drops 20 degrees at a time. That's the big thing. It's going to change during the day at some points in different time. You're in North Carolina. You're layered more. Like you always have to have either a jacket or a hood or something extra. Then it's going to come off because you're going to get hot. Like it's.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You have to. You have to
That
plan.
and you're gonna have that one random day in March where they're like, snow's coming, and you're like, oh, okay.
I would say hoodies are the most important thing because you can wear it spring, winter, fall.
Not really summer unless
No.
you're just crazy.
But I'm talking about for the guys from Florida, they're going to get chilled over anything under 80 probably. They need to be full of
Freaking
hoodies
wussies,
in there.
man.
Full of they need to be full of hoodies
Wussies, man.
They were shivering on Saturday night.
Shivering.
Like they were in the corner like, Coach, I don't know if I can go.
Okay, so y'all played some baseball this weekend?
It was good. It was good. We're just getting ready to go. We're going to play up at Hickory on Saturday. So we got 1 o'clock doubleheader against Catawba Valley. So we actually play them.
Is that the fairgrounds?
That will be at
okay,
the
they're
fairgrounds.
still at the fairgrounds?
Yeah, they're still at the fairgrounds. I talked to Roselle and all of them last night. Obviously, they want to be on
Coach
campus.
Roselle, I remember he was strength conditioning coach at Bandy's for about a year before he got one of the jobs at CVCC while I was there. So I remember Coach Roselle.
They got, and then Harvey's up there. They got a lot of good guys up there.
Chris.
Right now. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They've done a good job of fixing that field. I know you're not haven't
It'll be
been
my
there.
first time going up there Saturday. So.
Okay, so like I would say 5 to 10. I'm about to say, let's say 10 years ago, it looked more like just a practice field. And then when the college started getting involved in it and taking and working at it, it got better and better. It's a pretty cool field. It's for broadcast setup. It's weird. You're in a hole. And so like the first base and third base line. When I say a hole, have you been out there hunting with Hickory Fairgrounds?
The only games I've ever called, like for baseball wise,
It's
up
like
that
a-
area is LR.
It's like a 40-foot cliff down the first and third base line. There's no fans at the fence. Everybody's up. And everybody's behind you at home plate too. So there's nobody down the first base or third base line unless they're up on the hill, which people may will be. So it's very weird for like announcers because we're just up on top. You don't have that view much in a baseball. You're almost like looking straight down on the field as far as that. But they've got a cool little. Somebody has a house out in center field in the woods, and they've built them a party deck out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they have a party deck, Hunter, and then they.
I might need to go out there.
I've seen people out there. I tell you, we also got a party deck. You ever get to play at South Point?
Really?
So South Point, their field is next to a neighborhood, and the neighborhood, there's houses kind of around it, and you can hit balls into their yards if you hit them far enough. But there's one down the left field line. It's in foul territory, right, pretty much at the home run pole, but it's foul. So if you'd say a foul ball and then go 50 feet to your left, there's a deck there, and they've got lights on it. When someone hits one out, they'll hit the lights, and then they'll say home run, and they're all into it. Like they sit out there and watch baseball and stuff. So they've got a nice little pad out there. But yeah, CVCC's got the guy in center field now. He's 500 feet away, like maybe 600. He's way out there. Like he's not even close, but he can see it.
He's partying. He's partying. It's kind of like, you know what that would remind me of
guys
is
feel like they're on the field.
like that,
I've been up there.
So he's the guy that's just lucky enough where if he doesn't want to pay, he just goes out on his back porch and just watches it. It's kind of like all those people that spend all that money for those. What is that big building that they built? Cam Newton used to live in right next to BB&T. The ballpark stadium.
I don't know
that
the
they
name of it, but I know what
you
you're
know
talking
exactly what I'm
about.
talking about.
Yeah.
That's just like those guys. I mean, sure they're paying for it, but they got a view that they don't want to pay to watch a baseball game. They just sit out there on their own, and they're like, "Would you look at that? Huh? Would you look at that? Tom, are you watching this game? You know, just yeah."
So is this a fishing shirt? Over
Oh,
to the
yeah.
left? Is that what that looks like?
Yeah, so that we got a couple fishing shirts. So if you click on it, there's a blue one too.
What brought about the lime green as the secondary color?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Was this?
That's a great idea.
Is
I like it.
I mean,
I love
look, it stands out. Do not get me wrong,
Oh,
and I
it's
like it.
different.
And I like it because it is different. You know, kind of like you're about to go and play CVCC this week, and they're going to be your traditional red, black, and white. Okay, that's pretty normal. And it would be this. They could say the same for you if all you had was blue, white, and maybe black. But you've got freaking neon green in it, so you're standing out from nowhere. Do you guys have a neon green kit?
We don't, not yet.
Dude, that would be sweet. That would be sweet. Or at least, like, it doesn't have to be all neon green. Maybe at least just, like, the tops. And then, of course, whatever you want to have the pants are. That would be really cool. That'd be really cool. I do like the neon green. But me and Kevin were in here brainstorming, too, about other branding ideas that you guys can do.
we like to
because
play around.
we like
This
to
is
play
fun.
around. And obviously, you have
Me and Hunter being silly for a minute.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's silly.
I love that neon green shirt right there with the logo. I'm a big logo, like your hat. I'm a big just the logo guy.
Yeah.
So like a football helmet. I can't stand words, numbers. I just want the look. Like, I guess that's part being a Cowboys fan. You see the star, you see the logo. That's it. I don't have to say a word. You see the logo. And but yeah, I love
Until
this one
everybody
right
starts using the same generic logo, and then you're like, well, I can't really tell who that is.
unless they start calling them teams the football team.
See, I like that. I like the contrast with the blue
That's
and
our
the
practice
white.
shirt.
That's your practice shirt? Well, I really like that a lot. I think that looks really good. I mean, I like all of them. Don't get me wrong. But that one, I like that when there's like the base color and then it's like a whiteout almost of the logo and the letters. I really like that.
Well, tell me what you guys got. Like, so what's the plan and what's going on right now as far as getting ready for the actual season coming up?
Yeah, so the biggest thing right now, we got a couple out of competition, so not just playing ourselves. We have one game tomorrow night. We'll be at Tuckasegee Park, so it's kind of outside of Charlotte. It's right down from the Amazon distribution plant. We'll play at 5 o'clock there. Hopefully to get 9 innings in. They don't have lights there yet, so that's where Queens plays at.
Gotcha.
We're going to play another travel team, and usually I try to load up, play a lot of Division II teams, a lot of NAIA schools, but a lot of the 4-year schools have told us they couldn't play us in the fall this year just because of COVID and all that.
I figured that.
Yeah, so we got CVCC on the schedule for Saturday. Usually we won't play somebody that we play 6 times in the spring, but when I talked to Roselle, it just made sense because we're kind of both looking for a way to showcase our players.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has more sophomores than I do. Try to get them out. In a couple more weeks, we're going to go to next week on Wednesday, we'll go to Moore Park in Mooresville. We'll play.
That's a nice park.
It is.
That's a nice park. That's where the Spinners
Never
play.
been there.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It sits right there on the corner.
Yes,
So,
yes. There's like a golf course that you can pass to get there too, over there in Mooresville.
Yeah.
But that's where the Spinners play. When I covered the Woodbat League for between North Carolina and Virginia, the Spinners, they were in that division.
at Southern Collegiate League.
Yeah.
What is the Spinners logo? What is the spinner?
It has to do with some sort of textile thing that Mooresville was known for because it was like literally it looks almost like a spool
It's like
of
a spindle,
thread,
yeah.
like a spindle. Yeah.
Okay.
So then they just called the Spinners, and they draw a very good
it's fun
crowd.
to go there.
They draw a very good crowd, and it's something to do in Mooresville, really.
You know, what's crazy about those Woodbat leagues, they end up with a pretty good crowds, like more than like some minor league ballparks. So
Yeah.
it's kinda
Well, and I'm pretty
weird.
excited too because we got their catcher from the Mooresville Spinners. He's a transfer from Lenore, Ryan, and I mean they called him Crash Davis. Name's Davis Turner. But yeah, he's got kind of the prototypical story of a catcher bouncing back from a Division II school. So it's definitely kind of cool. Hopefully we get some local fans from Mooresville come out next Wednesday for him.
Right.
We're going to go down to Chester County, down South Carolina, play a doubleheader October 14th, and then we finish up with Flodar on Halloween at the Blowfish Stadium in Lexington. So we'll play a neutral site game.
So would you consider those exhibition games?
Yeah, they don't count for the regular season.
Yeah.
And then the first week of November all the way to November 8th, we'll do like a Yeti World Series where we'll split the team up, and we'll do that up at Kings Mountain. So
Okay.
yeah, so right now we're practicing at Crest, but we'll do like a Yeti World Series.
And
So
what's your roster size look like right now?
right now, so we had 75 started off in the fall. Which crazy part is we're one of the smaller teams in North Carolina, which kind of blows my mind.
Did you say 75?
There's 4 teams that have over 100 right now.
for
for
baseball.
is this
JUCO.
for JUCO?
And
Okay.
the problem is that these aren't all recruited guys. These are
No.
guys that are coming in because they're transfers. These are guys that are coming in because they got pushed aside because of COVID, because they
Right.
waited too long in the recruiting process. But we're down to 54 right now.
Okay.
Some guys didn't show up first day of class. Some guys just not for them. Good news is that all the local guys are still with us, which is good.
That's very good.
So that's
See, guys, you want to be a student athlete, you got to show up for class.
yeah, that's the
You have.
You didn't show up for
My mind
class.
is blown by the number of people for a baseball program.
I guess that's just because you don't see like if you watch like they put maybe the College World Series or something on television, you don't see 75
So
kids.
what's your active roster like?
Yeah, so we'll be between 30 and 40.
Okay.
And that's just who dresses.
Yeah, and what happens is, like, for example, like Kentucky right now, Kentucky has 58, but you're never going to see 58 on the roster. That's what they have at fall, and they're in small groups, so you'll never see 58 at one time.
Okay.
For them, but a lot of guys in the Power Fives, I mean, they're somewhere between 50. I mean, even when I was at Dartmouth, we were over 40. And people they just don't realize that unless they go out.
I've like because to me just I've never been in college baseball or anything like that at all, but to just knowing the major league rosters at 25 and to hear anything above that would be just,
I guess that makes sense though, because of course like you said, some of these kids that are on your team, they couldn't help that they were in the situation. Like you said, they weren't recruited.
Yeah.
The transfers, and they got pushed out of their programs and stuff because of COVID, which is understandable. But if you think about it too, numbers wise, say somebody does go down, you kind of need somebody, and bullpens, sometimes they need to be deep.
Well, and we're kind of also in the situation where, like, we have a couple guys from Miami where they would never showed up if it wasn't for COVID, because one of the young men, he was committed to a Division I school in Florida at Bethune-Cookman, and I got a phone call from Jonathan Hernandez, their head coach at Bethune, and he's like, I have all of my outfielders coming back. They're all fifth-year seniors.
Yeah.
So with that being said, now he's got to find junior colleges to push these guys to. We have a center fielder from North Carolina A&T that got pushed to the wayside because they just want him to be a pitcher only, a PO, and he's a really good two-way guy. You kind of hear stories all the time, but we're very freshman heavy too on the other side. So we have about 10 transfers coming in, and then the rest are all freshmen. And even though they're transfers because of COVID, they're still a freshman on the field.
Okay.
So.
Trying to think.
Where are you at on those two-way players? You just brought up that. It's an interesting question that I have. Where are you as far as coaching? Like, do you like two-way players? Do you tend to push them more towards pitching or hitting, or is it a individual type thing?
It depends. So, for best example, we have a young man from Chase. He's a really good ball player. When I recruited him, he was 81, 82 from the right side. Not going to blow anybody away. Came into camp, was about 83, 84. Last couple of weeks, he's made a jump. He's got up to 87. And we kind of had a talk. You have a bigger opportunity to go play at a 4-year school if you become a PO and stop trying to swing the bat too. I hate taking a bet out, of a guy's hand, but if he's going to get more interest being a PO, it's a little bit easier to push him that way. So that's kind of what we lean towards him. Now we also have a local kid from Burns who, we got to keep the bat in his hands because that might be his best opportunity to go. But he's a guy who I could bring in situations and he can come in and shut the door for us. It just depends. Okay. At my last JUCO, we have only had 2 guys that can really do it.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do.
I just didn't know if there was a certain philosophy like one coach might have as opposed to others. And the reason I ask is I went to, there's a picture of him up there, went to high school with a kid from here in Cherryville, and he was the National Player of the Year, American Legion, 28 home runs, 35 games.
That's sick.
That's a lot.
The
That's a big
Braves
bat.
made him a pitcher.
Oh.
Because he threw 90. He could get up to 92 and 93 and once in double it once he got into it, but he was right at 90, right-handed pitcher. But I'm talking super athlete. So like not only was, so he's center fielder and like I said, 28 homers in 35 games. Now this is when the bats were better, obviously, but still that's smoking the baseball. And he was drafted originally by Tampa out of high school. He wanted to be a Tar Heel, okay? Turned it down, went to JUCO up here in Lenoir.
Okay.
So he goes there for 2 years, and then he goes to Carolina. Well, the whole time, every year he got drafted, okay? So when he finally leaves Carolina, he's drafted by the Braves, and they turned him into, while he was at the other schools, he was DHing when he wasn't pitching, okay? When he went to the other school, so Braves put him in minor league, and he makes it at Myrtle Beach, which is single A or whatever. He wins the All-Star Home Run Derby as a closing pitcher. They entered him because they hosted it and he entered from the team. Now, who enters their closing pitcher in a home run? But the whole time they're just on the mound, on the mound, on the mound. And to me, I'm like, this is the best. He's honestly, Gene, the best batter. 28 homers in 35 games. The best batter I've ever seen in person in this area. And it just drove me crazy because he was so fast. Like, why would you put him on the mound? He's wasting so much athleticism. And then, for example, another guy that graduated at Shelby the same exact year. Now, Shelby's known for football, right? He was their quarterback. The best way to describe him at quarterback was Barry Sanders at quarterback. They ran the option with this kid at quarterback. You couldn't touch him. He's the fastest person side to side I've seen. Okay? Straight line, Caleb Farley from Maiden might be it. But side to side, this dude was the fastest. He made it as an outfielder. He played 4 years in the majors, Kansas City and Cincinnati, and made it. And he was nowhere near as close a hitter as the kid that I played with here from Cherryville. But that kid stayed on the mound. And I was just always wondering, and that was during the Braves when they were all, pitchers. I was just wondering if that was like, is there a philosophy that you keep them on the mound as long as you can? Is that a type thing?
It just depends on the coach. I mean,
yeah,
I've seen
that's
some
what I was
guys
kind of getting at all that.
Yeah, I've seen some guys too where it's certain places here. It seems like anybody who doesn't throw 88, they get dropped down to becoming a sidearm guy. That gets back to your coach pitch point from last time on Saturday. But I'm a little different. I mean, it's guys mature at different times too. I mean, you're dealing with guys 18, 19. So I mean, I got some guys, they haven't even hit their man body yet. So I'm really curious what's going to happen, especially with our roster being so freshman heavy, especially like what happens when a lot of these kids mature together. It could be fun to watch, like if they all stay together for 2 years. But getting back, it depends on the coach. I don't see a lot of coaches in college baseball use a lot of two ways. They just don't. I mean, because baseball's so specialized now with perfect games.
Well, we got 40, 50 people on the roster. Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah. And then you go ahead and you go down to these perfect game tournaments where they fly guys in. I mean, I'm seeing 13, 14-year-olds get flown in to different travel teams. I mean, it's crazy.
That's ridiculous. So, Gene, one of the questions I have, and it's probably, what a lot of people want to know for any kind of college program right now is like, what are the protocols that you guys have to kind of go through right now? Is there anything that's like, how limited are you being able to go in and maybe like you said, that some of these guys don't have their man body, like can they even go in and lift weights right now? Is the weight room closed off maybe because of COVID?
So that's a good question. So what our school did was we've closed off the gym just for athletes. We have mandatory cleaning every day, but on top of that, obviously we have to clean after every use. We're in smaller groups to where it's not the whole team. Like, so all 50 guys can't be in there. We try to keep it under 15. So
is it the same when you're on the field though, or is it different because it's outside?
Because it's outside.
Okay.
So we go by the NJCA regulations to where we still have to temp tests, and so we constantly are checking temperatures all the time. We have a daily questionnaire we have to fill out, and the students have to sign it. Student athletes have to sign it. Basically, it just says kind of, do you have any of these symptoms? Yes or no, that kind of stuff.
Right.
We're not in the protocol to where some of these Division I schools that are big Power 5 football schools that test every day. They actually test, not just check the temperatures. We're not in that situation yet. Could we get there? I don't know. But right now, knock on wood, we haven't had any cases athletic related at our school, which is good. So hopefully my only concern with it get a little bit colder outside, guys are going to start sniffling a little bit. Stuff's going to come up because, it's becoming flu season. And that's pretty much my biggest concern. I mean, we're almost halfway through the fall. Just want to kind of keep it rolling and we stay healthy. That's the biggest thing for us.
Well, it's one of the things so far. So, well, first let me ask this: have you only played just like this past week in exhibition games, or have you had like a multitude so far?
Yeah, so we've had the guys since August 17th. We've been with them, so which is good, and we want to do a little bit of an acclimation point with them. So some of the out-of-state guys got in about a couple days earlier, and then we started with practice. Practice for the first couple weeks were small groups, so we kept it under 15. Here lately, we brought it a little bit more to where we have them staggered to where they're different times. So like we'll have one group in the indoor facility, one on the field, and then we'll send our pitchers down to the soccer field at Crest. Just so we're constantly splitting them up. But like right now, every team's a little different.
Yeah.
We're fortunate, just like CVCC, to be in the in the same line to where we can actually practice.
Uh-huh.
You get teams like Wake Tech; they're hoping they can practice next month. Southwest Virginia, who's in our conference as well as Wake Tech, their fall's canceled. So some teams have been told, like Rockingham Community College, that they're not allowed to leave their campus. They can practice, they can play games, but it can only be travel teams, and they have to come to their field. So it just depends on the school.
Jeez, man, that's what's strange. But really, why I was asking is because I'm trying to see. I guess you've kind of been able to see what kind of talent you have outside of them, what they did in high school, and you were recruiting them to begin with, like what you have on the field right now, and maybe what your strengths and weaknesses are going into whenever you guys are able to start playing, meaningful games. I know the exhibitions, they're always meaningful for what you're seeing and getting the guys developed and whatnot, but, more like conference games where win-losses actually count.
Yeah, I think, obviously playing high school guys, it's great for recruiting because we get to see different 21s and 22s, but for us, I mean, this week against CVCC, we'll kind of see where we are. I mean, we're not oblivious to it. We know they're going to be ahead of the curve just because they've been around. Everything for them should be better because they have sophomores. They have a lot more sophomores. We know they have a lot of top arms, and we're excited. Now, the other test is going to be when we play Flodar, too. Flodar and SMC, Spartanburg Methodist, are probably two of the better teams down in South Carolina for JUCO.
I played in the Spartanburg Methodist golf tournament one time. I got golf balls with them.
There you go.
I did. They had them on their logos. Sorry about that.
No, that's good.
I went squirrel on you.
Squirrel.
You seen the movie Up?
Yes. I know exactly.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids.
I guess I was just really trying to get a. So, do you have kind of a thought on what your strengths are as a team going forward, or is it still kind of all question marks across the board?
I think the biggest thing is we have a lot of athletic guys. We're really fast, which is good. Defensively, I think we can be a little bit better. I mean, there's always room for improvement. I like our sticks. We just haven't been tested yet. I think this weekend's going to be huge to kind of see where we are.
How many pitchers you got out of that 55? Like, what are you looking
55?
at? Yeah.
Now, PO's only
sure.
18 with 2A guys or 6 2A guys.
Okay.
So, couple guys, I mean, they were coming into the program now with the understanding that the fall kind of see where they were. And like we said before, there's some guys that didn't have any offers coming into this thing. So, I wasn't going to push anybody away coming into the fall because, you kind of don't want to turn a stone over without taking a look at it. It sucks because we weren't really able to get out a lot. I tried to do as much as I could, and then March 13th hit, and everybody stopped playing.
Any surprises out of any of the guys that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I mean,
that you didn't know, kind of really.
Well, I think one of the surprises would probably be the Bailey McGinnis kid from Chase.
Okay.
I mean, he was 81, 82. We went out to Chase, and,
right.
We liked him. Very athletic kid. Has made a big jump, and really think he's going to hit a 9 pretty soon, which is nice. His brothers actually plays at LR, Chipper. We had one of the kids from Crest High School, Michael Green. We ran our little pro day that we did a couple weeks ago just for us. He ran a 6.5, which was nice to see in the 60. But we have a lot of good athletes that finally coming together. They just makes sense.
Yep.
We're fortunate to have a lot of the local kids. Between Burns with Avery Bridges and Zach Wilson being big contributors lately too. So
how's your catchers?
Catchers are good. I think that's
are you a catcher's coach?
That's definitely my bread and butter. I love catchers. I really like our catchers. We're young. Besides Davis Turner, that's coming to us from LR. We do have a transfer from Purdue, Owen Walbaum, who's he was redshirted at Purdue, so he's coming here. Try obviously just like the rest of the freshmen coming in, trying to make the squad, and then we have a couple North Carolina kids too, in the catchers mix, which is good. Now with Burns' catcher Zach Wilson, he got moved to shortstop. See, at Burns he played shortstop, he pitched, and he also caught. So I had to make a decision with him. He's never had a full year without catching, so we, took him from behind the plate and. He says he feel best that he's felt in a long time.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So
I used to have to do that little mix too. I liked catching. It wasn't as fun as shortstop. I loved playing shortstop.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, and we were fortunate with Raleigh Cash, another Crest kid that kind of fell into our lap. He was already committed to go to UNC Charlotte for academics. He was, a real high academic kid. He was
Say
already
Riley Cash.
Raleigh
Yeah, I
Cash.
know you're talking about. I did some of his Legion games. Him and you said Green, right?
Yeah, Michael
yeah.
Green. Yeah, so Raleigh's coming, which is good. He definitely adds a little bang to our lineup, which is nice. He's fast as well with Michael Green. So.
Well, cool, Coach. Connor, you got any other?
The only question I was gonna have, is you brought your, you said you're freshman heavy, very freshman heavy. Whether they're transfers or guys that you recruited, was it difficult to really get a gauge of their skill level with games being stopped this year? Essentially, maybe 2 or 3 games were even played for some areas, and then they just put a complete stoppage, or some schools didn't even get their baseball season in.
It's a good question. Absolutely. It just depends on where they come from, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, we have one kid he's from Pennsylvania to where he didn't really get anything in this year.
Yeah.
And, we were really high on the kid. He's coming in, bigger kid, won a state title in football at Thomas Jefferson up in Pittsburgh, but took about a week and a half to adjust, and he finally got some glasses last week, and, I mean, he's seeing the baseball. It literally looks like a balloon right now
Hey,
to him.
people, these things help.
That's
all right?
right.
If you don't, ask Jameis, okay? He went and got his eyes fixed.
Yeah, I want to see what Jameis does.
Let's see, but
That's what is weird. I'll say this. As far as eyes goes, I wore contacts in high school. I had LASIK surgery when I was 21. That's when your eyes are supposed to stop growing. If kids could get that,
It's a game changer.
It really is,
Mm-hmm.
and just to be able to. So, for example, in college, I was going to try, but we just didn't do it. I missed the tryouts freshman year, and it was my fault, but it wasn't my fault. I was trying out with 2 other guys, and they're the ones that with the contact with the coach, and I'm just trying to walk on and whatever. And they didn't tell me the first day of trials, so I come up the second day like a jackwagon. And so I actually did pretty decent. I was kind of proud of myself with no practice, whatever. But I had the surgery that like the summer after that, and then we would go hit after that, and it's just you just seeing the ball. Like it used to be. To me, it used to look like a softball, like a blur. Mm-hmm. So if somebody threw a softball, that's what it looked like. And then when you put it on and it just tightened up, I was like, God, because I wore contacts when I hit, so it was just you know the difference. You got glasses,
Yeah.
It's just totally different being able to see with the.
I know. I woke up the other day and was walking through the house just without my glasses on, and I was like, man, it's crazy to think. By like 8 or 9 years old, I just thought this was normal. I was like, everything just looks this way, and then it was like, oh, glasses. Oh.
I did,
Okay.
in junior high one time though, I had I wasn't playing, right, so I was just on the bench and wasn't expecting to play at all.
Right.
So we go to Bessemer, and I had an eye doctor's appointment that day, and he dilated my eyes.
Oh no.
So I'm sitting there on the bench before the game with my not reading glasses, my regular school glasses, and those big dark things. Coach's like, "What are you doing, Hastings?" I'm like, "Just getting ready to warm up here." He goes, "Can you see?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of." Why? He goes, "Well, I got you down as DH today." I'm like, I can't see.
I can't see. We're just gonna go out here and swing blind.
But I hadn't played all year, so I was like, I'm good. I got 2 hits, 2 singles. I just struck out. One time.
The blind DH, even a blind squirrel gets a nut.
Their pitching wasn't that
Twice.
good.
Twice.
Their pitching wasn't that good.
Well, technically, even a dead clock's right.
We
Twice.
might have won like 15-2 on that one. Their team was not good. So that was the reason probably I got to play that day. But yeah, I sat down with my eyes dilated and looking over like a 70-year-old lady. And
Yeah.
My boys, you're DH today. Fuck.
I can't see. Okay, coach, I'm ready.
I hope I do well.
I hope I do well.
All right. So what's the timetable news on your field and the softball field?
Good question. So we got some exciting news. So it looks like right now everything's in Raleigh at the state office. We're hoping that we're going to send it out in the newspaper in the Shelby Star in the next couple of days. Once that goes out, it's a 30-day process to award a bid. Mm-hmm. When that happens, usually takes about 2 weeks to mobilize. So we're hoping for the end of October for them to break ground on the field. Right now, timetable-wise, it's looking more that we'd be able to play on our field the following fall. So the fall of 21.
So maybe not this spring.
Maybe not. Our president, Dr. Jason Hurst, is really optimistic that we're at least going to get the back end of our schedule in at home. I'm hoping so because, trust me, being at home would be a lot better than begging people for a field.
I was
So-
about to say, what's the contingency on that? If are we just begging for fields? Or,
Well,
I know it's tough. You can't just go to Gardner Webb or.
Well, that's what we talked
like,
about last time when I was
competition.
leaving. So if
Right.
anybody's listening and you got a farm or know somebody who's wants to have a college baseball team, just show up. Let me know, because a lot of high school programs aren't probably going to be able to allow us to use their field in January. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're allowed to start practicing right after New Year's, and our first week is January 22nd. So I'll be honest, as a former high school coach, I wouldn't want to have a team use my field
Oh yeah.
that early in the season.
Yeah, they don't want
Right.
you messing up the field and everything.
And now with the way the high school schedules is fall back now, no. It's
Hunter, I know you're a little further away from Cleveland County. I recommended trying down here. I don't know, that's. I was just trying to think of big fields that's big enough, because these guys just can't come out here to a 300-foot field or 200-foot field or whatever. I do. Trine's got a big field over there. It's 330, 360. There
See,
may be a church
every-
or two around that has a couple big ones from that played back in the day, like the big softballs.
Yeah, and we that's like I was saying.
I can't recommend any off the top of my head though.
There was a church around Polkville that one of our parents did a lot of work to the field, and long story short, all the grass that we had planted and all that got tore up. So that kind of got X really quick. We were getting ready to put a brand new mound in, and I had guys going out. When we went out there, it was tore back up for a softball field. And I'm like, we just did all this work. So that's kind of where we are right now. Like I said, we really hope we can be able to practice and play at our school. Just being on campus. I mean, even here from Roselle, I mean, they're not on campus, so
Yeah.
it's just such a selling point too. Once
Oh,
you have guys-
absolutely. Yeah, you want to go play where at home and
So, I guess you're obviously going to, have a bid out for who wants to come in and build the stadium. Do you have a design already marked up?
We do have a design already.
Okay.
It's pretty sweet. So I'm excited. So it's if you've been on campus before, right where that the softball field is now.
Yep, I know where you're at.
So the field house there is going to still stay, that little field house. Where the softball field is.
Is there a drawing or anything online or anything of it
There's
yet?
not.
Okay.
We have a video,
I was gonna pull it up for people.
but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share it.
I was about to say, they're trying to keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
I get it,
It's
I get it,
highly
I get it.
sensitive.
I know some people have been able to see it, but yeah. So where the softball field is, essentially is going to be where the baseball field is. We used to have a tennis court there. The tennis court's been knocked down already. They're going to knock into the hill.
That's where we parked at last year, was the tennis courts.
Yep.
for the games. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So no, you're a squirrel.
Squirrel, yeah. Shut up, squirrel. Eat your nuts.
So the baseball field will be down there. Where the maintenance building is right now at left center. We've just got told we're going to turn that into an indoor facility for baseball, softball.
Good.
Which will
Okay.
be nice. And softball is going to be where the Lyman Academy used to be at, adjacent with South Post Road.
All right. Well, it's good that you already have a design, because a lot of people probably in the area, once they get ear that there's a JUCO ball that they can go and watch, they're going to be like, well, how's seating? Will there be able to be enough seats for it to at least accommodate a good crowd?
Yeah, so what's for us, we're going to have 400 seating capacity. But
Okay.
that's just with back seating. Once that second phase 2, once we get into seating,
Yeah.
we will have the ability to have people bring their chairs up and all
There
that.
you go.
Softball is going to be anywhere between 2 to 250 with back seating, and then they'll have the ability to have chairs.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So here's your overhead view of the campus where Coach is talking about here. So.
Yep. So we have a lot of new things coming up. So where you see home plate at right now is going to get backed up. It'll be kind of towards where the old tennis court was.
You talking about over here somewhere?
Yeah, right. Literally right over there. There's like a grate that sits down there. That whole hill to the left of your cursor, in front of the field house, is all going to go out. Where those trees are down the bottom left, majority of those trees have been taken
Talking
out.
about over here?
Yeah, down the bottom left of the page.
in the middle
Yeah,
there, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
where the softball field is. It's going to be down there.
Right.
And then you can see where down the bottom right,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the indoor facility will share for now. That'll be our temporary site till we build one behind right field. But we're looking at
How big is that fence right now? Because I know the softball field's 200.
Yeah,
How big is the field right now?
It's about 300 for baseball, like the old one. There's no fence up there now.
Right.
We've taken down both fence, the softball and the old baseball one. But we're going to look at somewhere between 310, 315 down the line, and 375 with a wall in center.
So we're
field.
going to be hitting balls into this back parking
We are
lot?
going to be hitting balls in that back parking lot. So
There needs to be a sign right there.
Should be fun if somebody wants to.
You're in the firing range.
If somebody wants to sponsor a sign, there you go.
There you go.
Here's what you do.
Insurances.
I was about to say, call the insurance companies, and they need to put a sign up in the parking lot there that this is home run territory. And I tell you who to call. He might get mad at me. I don't know if you get will. Call Damon Scott over at Shelby High School, Allstate. He does the Shelby goal lines. He's been a coach for Shelby High School and stuff too, but really good guy. His son's playing football at NC State right now. Nice. Jalen Scott, outstanding athlete. But yeah, that's always one of the fun ones. Like so on our broadcast, foul ball sponsors, we always get an insurance person to sponsor the foul balls. So
it's pretty smart.
So there's a ball in the parking lot, folks. If you busted out a thing or got a dent, it'd
be nice. And that's one of the things where you got the guy that's the board op that clicks the little crash button. That sounds like glass is crashing. Yeah, and they're like, uh-oh. Somebody better check on their vehicle. The owner of the white sedan. Your windows are out.
Just thought of a fun job over here, Hunter, they might need. I don't know if they got anybody over yet.
What?
Need a PA announcer.
Baseball, we can get JP to do it.
No. I would not recommend that.
Squatch.
I'm sorry.
Squatch.
I'll recommend him from something.
Squatch.
Not that.
That'd be so funny. Oh my word.
No,
I love JP to death. That'd be hilarious hearing him trying to just speak some sort of to a crowd of
mispronounce
people.
Every school's name.
Yeah.
He would make so many people so mad.
Cleveland count.
The day he tried to pronounce Syracuse,
I lost my mind.
Hold up, how did he pronounce
Syracuse or something?
No,
like
the first time he ever said it, it was, I think, Syracuse, North Carolina were playing or something. It was on our list for what we were going to have on the broadcast, and he said Socrates. I was like,
it wasn't even close.
No,
I mean it was.
Socrates. I was like, what?
He goes, I'm just reading it. Like, no, you're not.
I said, you out of left field, you pull a Greek philosopher out of nowhere for the name of a college?
Yeah.
Man, that's
rough. He was off big time on that. Well, folks, there's the softball field now that's going to be turned into a full-fledged baseball field out there for Cleveland Community College. Hopefully, he said, Coach Bowles will say it will be maybe get some games in the spring. If not, we'll be sure to get them in the fall. What about is the softball kind of on the same timetable?
Yeah, it's going to be. So whoever wins the bid, it's going to be the same time.
So what are they doing as far as, do they have somewhere to practice or anything right now?
Yeah, so right now the field hasn't been tore up yet besides the fence, so they still get to practice at home. If it's a little wet, they go up to Crest.
Okay.
And Crest is their indoor facility.
Okay. All right, now.
Looks like plans are in place. It's just looking for the dominoes to start falling.
Let's finish up this with Gene before we do our football picks, Hunter, or review of our games on Sunday.
Yes.
Friday, folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've still got 2 days to get sponsors in to get your signs up. We got a tournament Friday, September 25th, 11 a.m. Contact Coach Bowles. Bowles Go 26 at clevelandcc.edu, 410-245-2119. It starts at 11 a.m. over at the Cleveland Country Club. Registration begins at 9:30. Is there lunch?
There is. There's going to be a box lunch, but with the email address, I actually talked to IT. I'm going to be switching my email address pretty soon because it's Bowles G. It's a 026, and that's why I've been missing out on some emails.
Go. I bet people think it's Go.
It is. That's what everybody thinks. They were like, "Is that your middle initial?" And it's so it's Bowles G026 at clevelandcc.edu. If you have any questions, just email me, or probably best would be to text or call 410-245-2219. Still have plenty of spots for sponsors and plenty of spots for foursomes as well.
Now what we're going to have, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to broadcast from this tournament. Some live coverage there that's the 9th hole, right, Hunter? That you were at that? No, 9th that was the 8th. Was that 18 or 9?
No. I think it was
that was 9. Yeah, that was.
I think it was.
It was 18.
I don't know. We did two different ones. There's different holes.
I know for
the flags don't just say 18 and 9.
Some of them do.
Not all of them.
I know not all of them, but some of them do.
Some of them.
That is the 18th hole because we were at the 9th at Woodbridge, so we'll be on the 18th hole. From the clubhouse broadcasting. Hunter and Andre and hopefully one or two more will be with you. I got to round them up. Our team is 3/4 together. Gene, did you give me an age on that?
60.
Yes. My ringer is in play.
Let's go.
He's 63, so he's right between 60 and 65. So it's a key thing you got to know, Hunter. So seniors, if they can hit at 60, I got a guy who hits it as far as I do, who's 63. So I can put him up on the seniors I don't even have to tee off most of the time.
He's thought this through.
Listen, I've played in some of these tournaments before. Now, if
I'm lucky if I just go out there and have a good driving day.
If the age was 65, I wouldn't have brought him. I'd have brought a different friend.
Okay.
But he's
I'm glad
seniors
that
are
your
60 and over.
team is put together.
It is.
I'm glad. The golf team is put together. The broadcast team, not so much.
2/3 or 2/4 of the way full. Now, Gene, do you have any special rules or anything that you know of?
We don't. Just it's gonna be captain's choice.
Straight up.
Straight
Are you gonna
up.
do any?
We'll have 2 mulligans.
Is he gonna do any handicap?
We won't.
Okay. So those were the questions that I had. Every golf tournament is different. Some people, you take your handicaps and you do the adjustments. Some of them do straight up. Some of them do mulligans and stuff like that. Will there be mulligans or anything like that?
There'll be 2. So each person can get up to 2.
Okay. So Hunter, this is as close to an actual golf tournament as you can get. Now, Gene, when we played in this last time, I'm gonna give you some rules that they gave us. Everyone got 2 mulligans, okay, on each side.
Oh wow! I was going to do one on 9 and one on the back 9.
Everyone got 2 red tees on each side, and everyone got 2 throws on each side. Now, the throws, there was an argument or discussion about what that meant. I had played throws before, and when we played them, you had to count it as an actual shot. So, for example, you hit it in the bunker, you don't want to hit it out of the bunker, you use your underhander to throw it. You had to play as your actual golf shot. In this tournament, it was a continuation. So, if I hit the ball on the green, and then what I could do, Gene, was pick the ball up and roll it, and that would be the continuation of that shot. So it'd be my second shot. So teams are getting hole-in-ones out here. And now I told you all that. Here's what's funny about it. Our team didn't know the rules. I called and asked somebody the rules. He told me the rules, but he didn't say it was on each side.
He was playing with Terry, that's why.
Yeah, Terry.
Terry was keeping
so they gave
valuable information from.
So when you add all that up, they gave you 24 free shots, basically. 24. Now, you know how many we used out of our group? 3. So we lost from first place by exactly 21 shots. And we were like, I wonder if we could have played. We didn't know the rules. We just played. We played kind of regular golf, and everybody got 1 mulligan and 1 thing. And it was 2 on each side and two throws. So all the other teams were coming in with, I think 42 was the winning score. And I'm like, all right, who equaled 4 par 4s? Like, how did this happen? And that's what they were saying. They was like, because you get to roll it, the continuations. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, that's not golf. Like, if you throw it as an actual shot, I got an argument with you. But mulligans are fine because you're actually hitting a real golf ball, a real golf shot. So I was just wondering if there's any wild ass rules. One of them, you ever heard of the string rule?
Yeah.
Get 10 feet and it gets shorter and shorter and shorter as you play. We had one where it was a funky putter hole where you didn't get to use your own putter. You had to draw out of a hat. And they had like old putters, a pink putter, a mallet, like a croquet mallet, and just all kinds of weird stuff. And whatever you drew, that's what you had to put on that hole with. So that was kind of a weird one too that I've played. But just wondering if there's any other stuff like that. So Hunter, I think we're ready. I think my team's good.
Well, you better be.
I got 3 good golfers and 1 questionable.
You better.
And the
be.
only reason I'm bringing him, this is it's really weird and random. Is that he's actually a good basketball player, and he just now took up golf. But what he does, he putts extremely well. He walks up, but he doesn't take practice shots. He doesn't watch other people. He just walks up, lines it up, and hits it. And by God, he hits by half his damn putts. But he'll shoot 95, but he'll hit half his putts. So I'm bringing in a putting ringer.
Better hope it pays off.
We're going to come in 5th, Hunter. Just write it down.
5th.
Not even first.
I hope we win.
Fifth.
I hope we
5
win.
teams, baby.
I hope we win. I hope we
Pray
win.
for the worst.
Yeah, how many teams you got right now? Do you know?
Right now, paid up, we got 6 that have paid
I was
in
about to
full.
say you're not gonna have anything paid up, right? How many you got registered right now?
Registered, we have 16.
Okay, that'll be a lot closer to what you have.
Yeah, I'm not.
Nobody pays, especially if you're if that's somewhere different, like in wherever you're from, not North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm
They
still
pay
getting
until they
used to
walk
this.
up. There's no.
That's for a
prepaying.
lot of things. They want to make sure their money goes to the right place.
That's right.
Well, they might wake up Saturday morning or Friday morning, have to mow grass, Hunter, and can't go to the golf course. You never know.
But I don't know. I mean, that's up to them.
Well, I'm excited about it. I like doing these broadcasts too. I like doing different things for a broadcast. It's fun than just the normal show up and do our broadcast. All right, Hunter, you ready for some NFL?
Yeah. I did very good
You want to talk
yesterday.
injuries first?